The house had been built inside a vast, crumbling graveyard. Fog licked its stony facade. The great front door opened with surprising ease. Eerie moonlight drifted through the ragged curtains. The entrance hall was panelled in a dark wood. There had once been a staircase, but it had long since collapsed and stood skeletal and impassable. And the doorways to the surrounding rooms were all covered with a thick lattice of cobwebs. But there, directly beneath a portrait of Lord Blood himself, the dust covering the walls revealed a rectangular outline in the panels. This must be the secret passage. I took a swig from my canteen and approached, and as I did, it creaked open before my eyes, as if inviting me down into the dark. Something was not right here, but fool that I was, down I went, down the crumbling stone stairs. As I reached the bottom, I heard the panel close behind me, and the unmistakable, horrible click of the lock. My torch flickered out. That was all right. I'd brought spare batteries. I felt for them in my pocket, but found to my dismay that they had slipped through a hole which I was certain had not been there when I set out that evening. I felt for them frantically, and as I did, my hand made contact with something soft. My eyes somehow seemed to become accustomed to the gloom, and I was suddenly able, dimly, to discern several shapes cringing perfectly still in the shadows at my feet. Skeletons. I squinted at the one I'd inadvertently touched, and saw that, contrary to my expectations, its clothes were not from the 17th century, but from the 20th. Trembling, I forced myself to look at the skull, and, as I'd feared, I found it frozen in a hideous scream. A chill shivered through me as I realized that this unfortunate had been frightened to death. I saw that each one told its own horrifying story. 2 lovers, a rural policeman, a Girl Scout, still clutching a tray of now sadly inedible cookies. Who was she trying to sell them to inside a secret passage? A long succession of torch-clutching janitors. And there, a werewolf. It had frightened a fucking werewolf to death! Now, I was scared. Each held a torch, and by each, laying on the cold stone floor, was a set of unused batteries. I smelled earth, and I realized that I must be directly beneath the graveyard. There seemed to be a strange, flickering, bluish light emanating from somewhere behind me. I noticed how much colder the chamber had become. Ice was forming on its rough-hewn stone walls, and my breath seemed to be becoming a mist. The light behind me was And I looked down, and to my horror, saw that I had been terribly wrong. The mist I had seen was not my own breath, but emanated from somewhere behind me, and was taking the shape of a ghastly pair of hands. I knew now that to look behind me was certain death. But the ghost's hands grabbed me and forced me round with a grip like death itself. I screwed my eyes tight shut. "Look at me! Look at me!" it screamed. "Look at me!" "No!" I cried. "No, no, 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 no!" I felt myself being shaken, felt the claws digging into my shoulder. My eyelids glowed with the cold, dead light before them. My ears were filled with the spectre's shrieks, but still I fought. Still, I would not look. "Look at me," it went, with a strength I'd never known I possessed. I somehow wrenched away, back towards the stairs. I slammed against a wall, felt blood, but my eyes remained closed. The smell of death was everywhere. The noise was unbearable. I scrambled up the stairs and began to hammer on the door. "Help me! Help me!" I cried, smashing against it with my shoulders. Last, the rotten wood gave way, and I emerged into the entrance hall and ran through the great door and out. Tuesday. Bought underpants. Barry, is this you? You'd like to what? You? Yes, absolutely. All right. An interview. Where was I? Wednesday. Cancelled the trip to Transylvania. Thought it wiser given the underpants situation.